Welcome to another episode of Not for the Weak Minded. Now this episode's going to be a long one, but I assure you the information I'm going to show you and the things I'm going to talk about are very important for you to understand and know, so that you do not, I repeat, you do not continually trust the narrative by the propaganda machine and what's going on around you today, so that you do not become part of an autonomous hive mind machine that they plan to put you in, i.e. hive mind humanity. This is the plan. Now, I promise you, I know this information is scary, and we live in scary times, but each and single one of you can deal with this information, because we all chose to come down from the heavens and to shed the truth and love and light across the earth, essentially, to change the direction in which we all have been driven by those wicked spirits in high places. It's very complicated to know the truth, but I'm telling you now that this is their ultimate agenda, and what was going around today in regard to the coronavirus epidemic, which is actually a exercise. It is a operation, a psychological, physical, and mental operation, which is part of the United Nations. We are going to get to this. So I first of all recommend subscribing to Truth Stream Media if you haven't heard of it, because they or she does good videos asking the right questions. And so this one here I recommend watching. She puts it in a way different to what I do. However, I'm going into many different variants of the same thing. So for example, Skynet, her video here, Skynet is the virus. We are building our own prison. Right. Has to do with Elon Musk, Starlink, 5G being a bit emitted from low Earth orbit. Firstly, in the rural areas where there is none, they've been telling us their plans, you know. They said that 5G needs to go to the areas first where where the internet connection's not very good, right? So they're trying to drive people into the major cities using these technologies. And it's going to work if we allow it. So anyway, this whole video is about what's going on today around us, this economic downfall, let's call it, this deliberate planned event to usher in the United Nations agendas, which have been going on for at least 50 plus years. Now this has to do with the Nazis, it has to do with the Catholic Church, it has to do with the Jesuits, it has to do with the Templars, it has to do with Freemasonry, it has to do with the Muslim religion as well. This has to do with all walks of life, because what's happening around us today is the people in charge are all working together for an agenda. And that agenda has everything to do with the transhumanism end game. The end game where they'll save humanity using technologies, and that we will lose, essentially be chipped, and we will lose all thought processes. We will only do what the AI wants us to, and we will not have free will anymore. Do you get it? That is what they want. They want full control while emulating everything to do with the technological creation. Now, it's extremely difficult to explain everything in one video about their agendas, but I'm hoping that you haven't clicked away, because the things I'm going to show you will try and help you understand that this is their end game. The end game is to control humanity, to take your soul, because in this here, a belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations. Where's the spiritual limitations, folks? They want you to be spiritless, and your spirit is your soul, your essence. They want to take your spirit and put it into another reality, which they are creating on top of this one, an augmented virtual reality. They want you in your homes so that they can get used to being away from humans, human contact, and they want you to eventually put yourself into a virtual world in terms of living in this world, making money in this world, being able to go and travel. So, people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, they are fronts for the Zionist controlled military, which have been drip feeding these technologies to us over the last 50 odd years. But this plan goes back even longer if you research people like Albert Pike. This is their manifestation of their will. We the Truther community are trying to wake you up so that first we can find the truth and then use that truth so that we can manifest a different reality, because we have the power to do so, but you have to do it spiritually. You see what I'm saying? That the spiritual aspect of our existence is so important that to know and understand that when we all collectively do it, we will change as a collective, let's call it, because the collective's still fighting out there today. The consciousness of humanity, let's call it, is fighting every day to find the truth and to get it out there. And we have destroyed the deception, the greatest deception upon humanity's subconscious mind. It's just that most people don't want to go down the rabbit hole, right? Most people don't want to see that they've been born into a corrupt world of evil, and that the people in charge have always been part of an elite group that keep their secrets in their family and having an agenda that has been played out for a very long time, of which we're just caught up today, to the point where we can only know the truth today because we have discovered that the greatest deception in the first place, and their agendas. And that's the point, this whole learning thing is to know which side of the fence you want to sit on. Do you want to sit on with creation, know that your temple's created, that you have it to house your soul, that the earth is created and you have a place within it, which is to go against the principalities, which is those people in charge that are pushing for the LGBT equality and the transhumanism agenda, the trans agenda. It's all coming from the top down, folks, because they want you to accept their behaviors. They want you to be part of going against creation, going against your own innate soul purpose, which so many will if they carry on, if they don't wake up and realize that everything's a lie to begin with, and the reason why that is so that they want to take your spirituality away from you. Full stop. Using technologies. It's not a theory, it's a fact, right? I've not, I've not even gone into patents in this. I'm just, it's daunting, the challenge to show people the truth. So this is 2013, right? So the Catholic Church declares war on transhumanism, right? And I'm not going to read the articles, not all of them anyway, but basically they go to a meeting and they're not happy because it takes away the spirituality and the creationer and divine will, right? Things I'm trying to say. And yet the same organization is responsible because they're the ones that have been molesting children for the last centuries. They're the ones that are controlling the secret societies, the Jesuit order of Christ, right? Do you get that? that Christ today, his figure, is something that most people worship. And this article, this video, she makes a bloody well good point. If they can 3D print a Jesus, right, people are going to follow that no matter what. Because they've been programmed to. You know, even though it says in the Bible and other scripture that you shouldn't worship engraven images. So, you know, and that's how it was in the beginning of Christianity. There was no face of Christ. There was only symbols. The key rho, for one. And they did that in secret as well. So the secret society of Christ is actually something that's grown into what we see today, folks, through Catholicism, through how they've divided nation to go against nation. This is the Vatican. Castrati, you know, and then it's certain theologians and writers to tie modern transhumanists to Nazi eugenics. But the Nazis escaped, as if you've looked at all my content, the Nazis escaped Germany because the Catholic Church and the Swiss Red Cross helped them get to South America. They also used their rat lines, right, as we know, and the Catholic Church was heavily involved in it, undeniably. So whose side are they on, folks? They play both sides. They are the most destructive and evil, vilest organisation on the earth, who pretend to be Christian, who pretend to be good and moral, and yet they are connected to helping Nazis escape World War II. They are also connected to the Church of Satanism and all the other things that go on in Hollywood, right? Paedophilia, right? The massive child trafficking rings go right back to the Vatican. So the Vatican hosts conference touching on transhumanism, and this is that last year. Well, they changed their approach a bit, haven't they? Because this whole event was sponsored by this foundation, Humanity 2.0, right? And, right, so this is it. This is them. And who do these people work for? You guessed it, folks. Right at the bottom. I'll link every single thing up in this video so you can read these things yourself. Oh. But United Nations. Under ECOSOC. And that is the Economic and Social Council. So these people who set this foundation up have a direct connection to the United Nations, who in turn, right, actually go support these people. The Castry for Promoting Integral Human Development, which is run by the people in the Vatican. And it says it down. This is all done. Development must be well-rounded. It must foster the development of each person and the whole person, and of the whole person. Human life is grounded in three fundamental and closely intertwined relationships with God, with our neighbour, and with the earth itself. Right? Say one thing, but do the complete opposite. The cross keys with the crown symbol, right? That's Masonic. That's, secret society code. Where was it? But essentially, all these organizations that are connected to the to the Vatican are connected to also the United Nations. So what are Christians doing? Well, you got Christians, let's say like me, even though I'm not part of any denomination, right? But they're on board with the Transhumanism Agenda Conference 2018. Again, I'll leave the links. And it just talks about, you know, the impact it would have on humanity and the ethics of it, and, you know, the fact that, for example, machines like Sophia will get more rights than humans themselves in the near future. You know, carry on. So then this is who they are. It's a bit about who they are, their faith. They're committed to their faith, but they're also transhumanists. And I wonder who these people are all really connected to. And people are buying it. People are loving it. They're like, yeah, they're using scripture in a way that makes sense that I can be a transhumanist. Yeah. Are you kidding me, folks? You know what I mean? Like, this is deception right here. The cross and the moon. So anyway, back to the Jesuit order. The Church of Christ, right? Motherboard, the Jesuit priest who helped create modern transhumanism. Pierre Teilhard de Cardillon in the 1930s. And then the next article, if you didn't see it there, it will be there. The Jesuit priest who believed in God and the singularity. What's the singularity? Well, the singularity is when it's game over, essentially. Singularity is when they have full control over every single thing of this earth. And I mean everything. I mean, like you, the weather, like your life itself. They can just terminate you, you know? Oh, well. And I'm thinking like Logan's Run and stuff like that. And anyway, as expected, they know that what we know. And they know that we will not accept this, right? Many of us. So they have already put in place procedures. And if you bear with me, I'm jumping around a bit. And you will see it in this one, right? To round up the truthers, to round up people who they deem through artificial intelligence and algorithms, who it goes against the system, right? So we're being catalogued right now, and this operation is about exposing us at the same time as implementing their more draconian laws to take away our rights as a citizen, so that they can implement their new world order of one world peace, pretend, right? Through, first of all, chipping everyone and bringing in a new currency, right? A one world currency that's cashless. Everything's going to be cashless. You can't buy and sell anything if you don't take the mark of the beast. So, what are people like me going to do? Well, we're going to have to find somewhere to live. We're going to find a nice pasture somewhere, and we're just going to hunker down until what exactly? Well, one day, even if this was to take place, all the things I'm saying, and some of us just, you know, manage to just go somewhere else where there's no problems, and we manage to just eke out a living. What's coming back at us is humanity. Do you know? And that is what most people don't understand. Is if this thing takes place over the next 10 years, humanity literally will become a controlled opposition of humanity, i.e. those unconscious right now that are unaware of the dangers of what's going ahead right now, i.e. the techno crazy evolutionary jump backwards. They want to give you superpowers, all right? And yet, if you understand the movies, let's go back to one. If you understand the movies and what they're doing, they're showing you technologies how to do great things. But spiritually, all those things they're showing you, you can do. Right? If you research it, a lot of things, levitation, telekinesis, telepathy, you spiritually, you can do all of these things. Right? And more some. But that's what they don't want to tell you, that the things that they're emulating are spiritual gifts that we have to first learn the truth and then to, how can I put it, be in a time when the stars are vibrating at a higher frequency, or creating a reality, an existence where we ourselves enhance our existence, let's call it, using structures, let's say, to emit higher frequencies across the earth. And I'm not talking like 5G, I'm talking like, resonating with the Mother Earth itself frequencies. I can't remember, it was 7.95 or whatever it is. That's, healing, and creating healing chambers and stuff, of what we know. They did it in the ancient past, and we can do it again. That's the point, I mean, like, to know the past is to see the potential future, right? The things they've hidden from us is the things we can use today in our world to let's call it, defeat our common enemy. A lot of people don't even, forget the globe Earth model, forget everything, just boil it down to basics. Do you have a soul or not? The answer is yes, and you can research that, right? Type it in Google, do some diligent research, and you'll find out through many people's out-of-body experience, near-death experiences, studies done by academia finally, of which Tesla himself said so, right? He said that, that we would make great leaps and bounds if once we start studying and acknowledging the things of the unseen. Not in that quite wording, but that's the point. I've studied the unseen, which actually means the occult, right? So I'm not in a secret society. I've studied the occult, which is the hidden knowledge. So anyway, I'm not reading these articles out. I'm trying to show you that the ideologies of the transhumanism is well there in the public domain and is real. It's a 6-minute read if you want to do it. But it's not just one religion. It's all religions that are now merging as one, with the same ideologies, with the same principles, with the same agenda. A one world religion, using transhumanism as a gateway to do it. Not just that, but because of these satellites going up, Elon Musk and all the other technologies they've got in low Earth orbit, Project Bluebeam is well on the way. They're well underway. This is part of creating the scenario where an alien invasion will take place. Whatever, returns of beasts and dragons and all sorts of stuff. To convince you that you've got a common enemy, humanity, I mean. And this is not me making this up. It's not conspiracy when you've got presidents saying so repeatedly. Wouldn't it be nice if humanity had a common enemy, like an alien invasion, which is, and this is why it's important to understand the globe Earth model is false, because aliens they do exist, but they're not coming from Mars. They're not, it's all deception, Yes, alien different there are all different types of temples out there, right? Just put it that way. Yeah, and it all depends on the spirit inside it. Unfortunately, there are some wicked spirits out there that have deceived us all, for a reason. So, Islamic transhumanism, I mean, these people think it's all right it's not the Muslims, the regular Muslims, but the Islamics. They think it's all right to have sex with a 13-year-old, get married to a 13-year-old. I've got I've put videos on about this. It's disgusting, and this is kind of what's happening in Britain. You know, they're ignoring the Muslim gangs, the grooming gangs, which are prevalent. Literally, they're just bad. It's bad. You know, while like people like me who speak out, you know, get called a fucking terrorist. You know, whatever, man. Oh, balls. Anyway, this is one about terrorist Sem movement, Second Life, and the rise of the Nephilim. And I haven't read it all, but I just read a little bit. And it began with a headline that read, Transhumanists in the Satanic Temple admit they are a part of the plot to techno-progressively replace God-created humans, right? Now, so that's the Church of Satanism, right? So you don't, you know, I'm triggering words here that for some of you, if you're still listening, you go, "What? Satan doesn't exist. Satan's not real." These people believe it to be real. They believe in God. They believe in Satan. They believe in hell. They believe in heaven. Doesn't matter what you believe. They bloody believe it, right? And there is multiple avenues of inquiry and information that you need to take in order to actually know, first of all, what God is, and aliens and demons, right? And how they played a role, and and giants once walked in the past, and man, it involves so much. But yeah, the Satanic Temple, basically, I'll leave it linked, agrees. You know, they're part of it. So you've got Christians, Muslims, the Jesuits saying it, and then you go to movies, right? And this is just a small example of probably what there is, and there isn't like Gamer, Ready Gamer 1 on there, or whatever what it's called, or half the stuff that you could put on this list. But this is just a small list of transhumanism films going back to 1995, you know, Techno-Apocalypse, and that is something we're going to talk about. Wow, kind of trying to paint that picture, right, already, that we live in a world where the people in charge have lied to us all, that they are absolutely psychopathic, you know, child molesters, and they've got an agenda to basically take the knowledge of creation and to twist it to their own views, their own ways, and their own purpose. That's to control you with technologies. You know, I'm all for certain technologies, right, that can help us. For example, my granddad hasn't spoken for a long time, 8 years. He had a stroke, and essentially, if I had the money, if I could afford to, I would go buy a thing called an Epoch headset, and that is a headset that can sit on top of the head and read thoughts, read emotions. That translates it to the computer so it can speak, right? If I had the money, I would do that. You know, he hasn't spoken since the stroke in 8 years, and he's in a vegetable state, essentially, you know, with some kind of semi-cognitivity. But can't really speak. So to me, that headset is something that if I had the money, I would buy. Yeah, that's a bit of technology. That's great, you know. But to give away our free will and to be part of a system which is absolutely corrupted already, you know, is something I don't want. It's something you shouldn't want. Something that you should stand against. Every single one of us should stand against this movement. You know, I'm all for technologies changing the world, but not like this. I want free energy. I want to, you know, use the harmonics of the earth to heal people. I want, you know what I'm saying? I want different outcomes with certain technologies that we could use, that they use, but they're using it in an evil way, you know? So transhumanist cyborg Zoltan Istvan to run against Trump in 2020 election, right? So, and then we're going to get into this one. Now, this channel here, sorry, it was this one, Truth Stream Media. She talks about this guy, you know. So, talks about this article. So if you're interested, please just watch this video, watch what she has to say about it. But essentially, I'm just trying to make you see the bigger picture here. So they got this questionnaire. Who will run the world? Basically, AI is the answer. You know what I mean? Uploading themselves into a new world where they don't die or live as biological beings who suffer, you know? Death is just the beginning, folks. Like, you know, you come into this world in this temple as a spirit and you'll leave as a spirit. And it all depends on how you lived your life. Where you go next. But there's a certain bit, he says, what will we eat? Well, bots don't need to eat, do they? Where is it? Essentially, he says a couple of things. He says that exactly what I said at the start, that they want to meld augmented intelligence in the form of artificial intelligence melded with human intelligence, right? It's a no-go for me, I'm afraid. That's dangerous. There we go. So he says here, a great transhumanist war will occur between those who embrace radical technology in their bodies and those who don't. Many will be affected by this time, and some will call it to the end times. Those that side with technology and AI will win. No, they won't. No. For the spirit dwells within you, and you will win in the end. For love will triumph over evil. But you see what I'm saying? He wants to be president, right, of the United States, and he's coming out with this shit. I'm telling you, as a viewer, yes, there is going to be a war if we carry on this path between the unconscious, those who are unaware, right, that they're taking technology that's going to be merged with all sorts of stuff, that they're literally going to lose their free will, right? And it's not going to go easily to start with. They're going to put voices in your head. They're going to fucking get you. If they keep releasing demons, right? Angels and demons. They're going to put demons inside your body, and the demons will use your body as a temple. You know? This is part of understanding that these things are real, by the way. They exist. But you have power over them still. With your words, with your heart, and your intentions. You can cast all these demons back, right? If we all only just came together and understood that the reality of our situation, that we are all in a war in mind, body, and spirit against these type of people in high places who keep their bloodlines in the family, you know, these people can create people out of thin air. They use holographic technologies, right? You see one with the Pope recently. It just, holographic, vanished. So they want to do a great deal of things with technology, but their ultimate plan is to augment reality with an artificial intelligence so that becomes a one world economy, one world religion, and humanity ends up becoming a slave to an AI. That's it, folks. That's what they want. So there are many books out there about this. Just type in technological apocalypse or the transhumanism apocalypse. You will find many books about these things, right? Check out Nicholson's 1986 YouTube channel. I mean, there's many great channels, including this one. You know, Shaking My Head Productions. They do amazing videos that should wake anyone up. So, I'm not trying to scare you, albeit it's scary. I'm trying to wake you up to reality that, one, you've been lied to, and two, that you're in danger, your soul's in danger because of the things going on around you today. So the UN launches COVID-19 plan that could defeat the virus and build a better world. You know, and for many of you that believe this to be real, the coronavirus, and what it's really, you know, the death rates and stuff, and what they show you from these people, you need to know they fudged the numbers. You need to know that they fudged the numbers from start. Their algorithm was improperly inputted data-wise, and that means that their strategy was based on false numbers, and they knew that anyway. This whole thing is a simulation, also a psychological operation for the United Nations and the World Health Organization, which is run by Bill Gates, right? Not a doctor. Immunization Agenda 2030, a global strategy to leave no one behind. Do you understand that you would have to either accept death eventually or get chipped? They're going to try and put you in re-education camps. They want to scare the living shit out of you in the meantime so that you don't even think correctly, right? Because this is to do with your reptilian part of your brain, your fight and your flight. When you're in that receptive mode, you do not think clearly. You do not take a logical thought process. You just react. What? And all of a sudden, you know, you're thinking other things. This is how they do it. They keep you in fear. I'm trying to show you that, first of all, this is how they operate. This is an operation. And the United Nations plus World Health Organization plus the media plus the corrupt education system plus the supposed truther community / disinformation agents are about everything. It's about just keeping you in the dark until it's too late. I'm trying to shine the light and be the way here because Christ is within you, the individual. But you need to be conscious. You need to wake up and see you have a common enemy, and they don't give a and that you're an economic slave born into bondage. So it's just Agenda 21 conspiracy that just won't die, folks. And yet people believe the Daily Beast, right? Not even knowing what, you know what I'm saying? The Daily Beast is corrupted. It's part of the same network. It's not trustworthy. End of discussion. Trust the Daily Beast. I mean, so anyway, before this coronavirus stuff, I have mentioned before, and I'm going to mention it again. The United Nations Equality Act, even though we've never been equal to those in power ever, wants to use this agenda as well to get rid of those people that were protesting against primary school children being taught about sex education and LGBT and relationships, right? 3 years old. They do not need to know about any of this. None, right? And yet, people are happy for their child to go to school, right? And for their parents to be at work and kept busy by, trying to provide, even though we live in a time where now money is not going to mean anything in a minute. Then what we're going to do? We're going to have to either A, take the beast and take their fucking suggestions and whatever else they're going to offer us, cannibalism food, essentially, Soylent Green, or we're going to have to revolt. The TikTok people, that ad, they got dancing doctors on, and it's called TikTok, right? Come on. They're telling you are running out of time to act before it's too late. So no, they don't think, the government doesn't think it's all right. Primary schools should not consult parents before teaching LGBT relationships, Watchdog Chief says. Really? Because this guy here, who's the Watchdog Chief, isn't corrupted. He's not a paedophile. Bloody well is. Don't even need a look. Know it. So Shaking My Head Productions, please, I recommend watching this video. I highly recommend watching this video. Please. If you've got this far and you have no idea the shit I'm talking about, please watch this video. Particularly to do with Operation COVID. Right? And they're oh my word, the things they've got away with, right? They've changed the laws. Someone like me, right? They can come and get me any time now, and detain me for any reason whatsoever. Does this not ring a bell about the Gestapo? They're literally doing the same thing, and people are not aware of it. They are literally in a daze. It's driving me up the wall. I really wish people would see the bigger picture. Coronavirus disease training simulation exercise. So you can come on this. I'll link up everything. You can go down and look at the simulation package and it will take you to this. WHO Simulation Exercise Manual, February 2017. And you can see it's quite an extensive exercise. Secondly, let's go back to here. When you watch this one, you'll see, pause it, every single subject, there's over 200 layers, right, within this operation manual on this COVID-19 operation. Every single one of these is a page, and it goes into exactly another one like this. Watch. You click on it, and it goes into a different one. And they're all different things over here: videos, essays, articles, all different things. Like it's crazy detailed and in depth. And you have, this is what they're saying. 50 years in the making. You don't plan this overnight. This has been 50 years in the making, and COVID is an operation. It's not. We are. While they implement 5G next to schools and stadiums and stuff, and anywhere else they bloody well need to, for that matter, under this lockdown, small businesses are suffering, right? And they are trying to kill the economy. The fact is, right, that these people that work for us, the government, want to kill the economy because they are part of the same people that want the one world order. They want to, and they know that this whole civilization's been based upon destruction, deceit, lies, genocide, right? For oil, blood money, diamonds, you name it, right? It's this whole civilization's built on blood. And the only way, wherever I believe, I don't want a bloody revolution, but I'm a realist, right? In order for any one of us to get a future for our children, blood must be spilled. We must sweat and bleed for our rights, because that is what they've forced us into. They have forced us into a corner. because we have not acted. This is how it works. They keep implementing their solutions and to see your reaction. You don't react, they just keep implementing them. We need to get on this. We need to get out there en masse. So anyway, simulation package. And then this one here, strategic preparedness and response plan. About, updated coronavirus one. There it is. So again, I'm not, there's information here that you might want to read. I'm just trying to supply you knowledge and give you a heads up that you shouldn't take the mark of the beast. You should be willing to stand with others that want a better future, that's self-sustainable, right? And yet the only way we're heading is the opposite. They want all our bread in one basket. They've been poisoning everyone for decades so that they can implement their solutions, which is nanotechnology and the cure of all things, right? So you can't feel no pain if you haven't got free will. Please, I beg you, share this information, watch these 2 videos, and pray. Pray that somehow we as a truth community can find a way to come together so that we can make a better difference. Please share, like, and subscribe.